Hi everyone and welcome back to another video. So thankfully Stutter Gate is now over and we can move on from this segment in our time with Dark and Darker. And what this also did was give me a little bit of freedom to go back where I belong, which is Howling Crypts. And boy do we get into some chaos. First things first, I gotta show you guys my gear, which is very, very light. A couple greens, basically a few things I got from Goblin Caves, and I did find a few moments where I could basically escape without stuttering. And you'll notice a lot of you guys have been asking about perks because you've never actually seen dual wield before, or you're new to the game. But yeah, dual wield, slayer, and then combo attack. I sometimes also prefer projectile resistance, but not gonna lie, haven't seen a whole lot of archers. So in our excitement, jumping into this one, we get a little bit overexcited and prematurely pop Adrenaline Rush. Thankfully, this is not playtest 3, and it's not single use. Actually in playtest 4 as well. Back to the swing of things, these mobs actually cannot be found in Goblin Caves, so it's been a while since I faced a lot of these mobs, as I did the Gladiator series, the last playtest. And if I ever do want to try High Roller solo with my fighter class, I need to start practicing a bit and relearning some of the mechanics in this dungeon and the map as well. Because this is where I very much enjoy playing. This is where I started in playtest 3, and this room is where you can collect a lot of really good loot. Well, at least you could before. Basically, the only good loot I found in here from these death skulls, as usual, bandages, pendants, and throwing axes. As you'll see coming up shortly, once we deal with some of these mobs, the loot in these chests is almost not worth it. Luckily, we do find a beautiful pendant, +2 strength, some other kind of oddball stats, but 2 strength is very nice. Almost as nice as seeing all the new subs and people supporting my channel with crazy amount of viewers in the last video again, so thank you. Welcome you all back. But look how garbage this loot is. Like, it would kind of be nice to even have a couple green collectibles or just something you could sell. Just finding gray weapons constantly isn't all that great. Going forward, I might just have to avoid chests altogether. Hearing footsteps, my little bit of freedom and joy in clearing mobs has finally come to an end, and we need to fight this guy. Trying to make the most of Adrenaline Rush, we end up getting stuck on that stupid little barrier above our heads and are forced back up. Ends up working in our favor as we separate him from his teammate, closing the door. Even without Adrenaline Rush, that 15% attack speed is making a difference here, as he doesn't really get a chance to swing. Once again, we clean him up with a couple nice arming sword swings to the head and move on to his buddy. Chop to the head. We're now a little bit smarter with our swings as we start ducking underneath that thing above our head. And I didn't understand why I still had so much HP. But if you missed it, so did I. Because his cleric actually healed me. And we don't have too much time to think about that, or even loot, because there's a warlock very, very close by. Only needing to pot up one. It's quite nice. These guys had some nice valuables, a lot better stuff than what I was finding in those chests. This one it comes back to like min-maxing, trying to decide what to drop and what to keep. Yeah, trading right now is all over the place, so it's really, really tricky, and for the most part, I've been leaving a lot of stuff behind that I would have kept other playtests. I find like right now it's just not super worth keeping even greens. Sometimes even blues are hard to sell right now. So we're piling all this stuff in, switching our pants up because it actually has +2% max health, and I'm kind of surprised we didn't get pushed by another team, as they must not have heard what had happened in that hallway. So we're giving it a bit of time, a bit of freedom, we're full health, able to loot these guys, see what we got, and really what a smart person would have done is maybe just take this route around rather than heading back in this way, because really I should be trying to escape with a lot of this stuff, especially considering this is one of my first times into Howling Crypts. The XP you get from extracting is very, very valuable when you're trying to get to level 15, which I'll need to get if I want to do High Roller. We still hear a few steps close by. Not quite sure where they're coming from. And that song I don't think I've ever heard before. Now he's playing the song that opens chests, so we're going to interrupt this party a little bit with our lantern. Scorching a few of those guys' toes as best we can. And now we're expecting trouble. And I thought for sure that Warlock was going to be casting that thing in my direction, so I backed off. Landing 2 axes on his friend. And once again back up to our safe spot, which is his friggin' door. I decided to get some distance on these guys. They seem to be pretty well set up. Cleric, Warlock, and not quite sure what else. Bard, maybe? We try to get some distance, some space, see what happens here. We immediately run into another Warlock. It sounds like another team of 3. We're once again on the run. And this is exactly why I like light gear on my fighter class. Everyone's talking about percent damage reduction, have to go full plate, Mind Cuirass, whatever that crazy helmet's called, or else you're not playing fighter correctly. Well, if I was wearing any of that gear in these moments, I would not have been able to get distance. I wouldn't have been able to use my throwing axes as fast as I did. I'd have been stuck in that hallway basically dueling it out, stat checking every one of those characters. Instead, I can get a bit of space, take my time, let things play out a little, and then head back in. After doing a quick inventory check, not really hearing much go on, we decide to maybe make our move as zone's starting to close in a little bit, and we do need to find a portal out of here. Seems like there's still some action in this little courtyard. Certainly is. So we got 3 guys. It looks like another team fighting in the background. We've got to push this Warlock, not giving him a chance to use any of his abilities. And now we're left with his 2 friends. Once again, throwing axes are so important. And we're stuck. Trying to hit over that shield and not hit the roof is tricky. Finishing that kill with our Castellan dagger was nice, very helpful in that situation as it's quite crowded. And now the cleric's on the run. He takes off. Unlucky. It looks like there's a pile of corpses here. This Warlock's actually running Bardiche, which is kind of surprising. As you can tell, he could not get his stuff sorted quick enough. And that's probably the biggest problem with Warlock. We hear more action. Sounds like another guy close by, and we try to cut him off. And yep, we see the guy through the door and expect the Hellfire, which is very good at zoning. But other than that, it can be very, very easily sidestepped and dodged. Not realizing there was a blue portal back here. That guy must have grabbed it. And now I'm stuck with this Warlock in front of me. I should have pushed the other guy harder, I think. Would have been a much safer route out of here. Surprisingly, our HP didn't drop that much again. I don't know what happened in that situation, where that guy's falchion was hitting. It must have been hitting my arms as I was swinging my arming sword. And this could be it. The final 1v1 to finish this thing off. Warlock v fighter. Longsword versus arming sword. And that swing just didn't have enough reach, and I did crouch on his follow-up swing with the longsword. If I had crouched on any of those hits, he likely would have missed over my head, as that front stab's really, really narrow and accurate, but you can duck under the follow-up swing. Sadly, after all that, we're left with nothing. Unfortunate, but there's always more time. We don't have to rush things, and I do intend to make a Gladiator series for you guys, because I know a lot of people have been asking about it. They'd love to see some stuff like that. Kind of just getting a feel for the classes, getting the feel for fighter class, and now that those stutter issues are finally over, I can start really focusing on some of the things I want to try. Goblin Caves now has high roller, which makes another interesting aspect, but more on that later. Another side thing I've been kind of really interested in is Bard. So I do expect to have some Bard videos in the near future, especially solo Bard, which is tricky, but can be very fun. Once again, thank you all. I wish you all the best of luck in the dungeon, and I'll see you guys next time. Cheers.